Hi, my name's Trudie. I'm a member of the IQ Bar team and I'm also one of the vloggers. In this week's vlog, we'll be looking at how to teach the new phonics tasters, covering aspects of pace of the bready and how to deliver the session, what to cover in the session depending on their ability, the use of standardised actions, use of songs, and the use of props in these sessions. So if you want to get some tips, some ideas, lots of which I have stolen off other people's but that I loved, but which I cannot take any credit for, then stay tuned. Or maybe if you want to throw in some extra thoughts and ideas, let's get sharing. At the end of the video, I'll be sharing some of my top tips for the phonics sessions, so stick about if you'd like to hear them. Firstly, let's talk about what they actually are. So the hope is that lots of our breadies will move from using First English Words, CGO 0, to our phonics course. This is much more user-friendly and will help build a solid foundation to help breadies develop their language skills. So more and more you will see the phonics tasters or the lessons probably creeping into your booking timetable. But do not be afraid. In a very brief summary, these sessions focus on the foundation of our speech, looking at graphemes and the related phonemes to help breadies read and correctly speak English. Our course is based on the original Letters and Sounds phonics course, which was published by the DFE in 2007 in the UK. However, it's been tailored to suit the needs of students who have English as an additional language by adding the instruction of vocabulary. You will see that the lessons are limited to an average of 5 to 6 words. This is because by limiting the vocabulary learned in a lesson, this should help aid the long-term memorisation of the vocabulary and the breadie's ability to recall this vocabulary. It's really important that you ensure you use your planning time to become familiar with the course elements, the standardised actions, and the pronunciation of the words and the sounds. The course itself has different elements, some of which are in the classroom and some outside. In the classroom, you will have the lesson PDF. This should be preloaded into the class. Every lesson also should have a song, and in the tasters, you'll have a song for the letter S and for the letter A. Also, breadies should have a workbook, a paperback book that they should receive, which includes flashcards and handwriting practice. But you don't have to worry about this in the taster. Like in a normal session, at the start of the taster session, you will introduce the focus sound or sounds for the lesson, and this is where you ask the bready to repeat after you. Do not ask the bready to use a pen for this. However, you could encourage them to write the graphemes in the air, which are S and A for the tasters, or even on a toy or on their hand. It's so important to get them really familiar with the sounds here and the correct pronunciation. Next is the introduction of the vocabulary. As I mentioned, generally there are around 5 to 6 words per lesson. And this part is where you have to use the standardised actions. These actions are a vital part of the phonics learning process. It's important that you encourage the bready to use the actions. If they don't want to, or if they don't understand, don't worry. But what is important is that you are using them consistently. If you want to know where to find these, have a look on the website under the Resources tab, then click on the phonics folder and click on the link that says video. I'll model this a little later on in the video. There's another really important point to make about this part of the lesson, and that's that it's also a chance to model the word using props or flashcards or toys. I try to use at least one prop for each word. So not only does the bready have an action associated with the word, but also an extra visual cue on top of the ones they're looking at on the screen for them to familiarise themselves with the word. So you covered the vocabulary, now you get on to sounding the words out. But fear not, phonics is so fun, so just have some fun with it. If you're worried about the pronunciation of the sounds or the words, you can also find the pre-recorded audio of how to pronounce them accurately, again, like the phonics standardised actions recordings. These are under the Resources tab within the phonics folder. I'll model how to get to these also a little later on in the vlog. So back to sounding out. First, you will ask the bready what the word is to see if they can remember. It can be helpful here to highlight the object. For instance, in this picture of the girl, you could highlight the dress. Model the action to help them too, or even show them a prop that you've shown them during the lesson. Then for the where is the sound, encourage them to say the focus sound. After this, you will see sound buttons on the word. So, segment the word and break up each sound so the Brady can hear how each part of the word is made. Once you've sounded it out, blend the sounds together so they can hear how they come together. I find that the first time I model this, I do it slowly, and the second time I do it much quicker so they can hear how they blend together. Finally, you'll say the word and do the action again as a final way of reinforcing the word you've been practicing. Then you'll have the Vocab Read. This is where you can see what the Brady have remembered, and also again, use the actions to help reinforce what has been learned. Really emphasise and focus on that new sound that has been learned. You could have some real fun with this, and props are a great way of adding an element of fun and depth to a lesson, especially if you've been using these props throughout the lesson. They're a great prompt for the Brady. If you get time, you'll get onto the Let's Talk application. This is a chance for some fun, to find things with the sound in. You should hopefully already have a range of props around you, which you'd have used in the lesson, and hopefully the Brady will be able to recall some and feel a real sense of achievement when they're able to tell you what the object is. Remember, you do not need to extend on this material. This is probably the hardest thing I found. We're so used to extending, but on this, you don't. Keep your language clear and simple, and focus on the vocabulary and the sounds in the words, and have fun. You may find that the Brady you're learning with is taking it really slow, and you only cover the grapheme S, but that's fine. Or maybe the Brady is really good at the grapheme S, so you move on to the grapheme A taster, which again is fine. It's about going at the pace of the Brady, but ensuring that they get lots of opportunities to engage with the content so that they're using it accurately. As part of your lesson preparation, even for tasters, it's expected that you familiarise yourself with the standardised actions for the phonics lessons. These are available to view online at any time, as are the recordings of the words and the sounds used in the lessons. And here's how to find them. So once you've logged in, if you click up here on the Resources tab, then over here on the side panel, if you click on the Phonics tab, and here you'll see there's a folder that says Recordings. Within here you can pick the unit you're working on, and here you will find the sounds for the tasters, like the sounds for the letter S. If I go back into the Phonics folder, and if I click on Videos, you will find all the words with the standardised actions for each. Let's talk props. Props are so important during the phonics lessons. As I've already said, I always try to use at least one prop for each word. In the phonics tasters, even for the word sand, I upload a picture of a beach. Toys can also be really important. Don't underestimate the importance of engagement. These Bradies are likely to be really young and also quite low level. So sometimes they just need a friendly little fluffy face to help them making their learning that little bit more fun. It's even better if that little toy has a funny voice too. Be creative with your props. Sometimes I'll use a storybook to point out some of the words we discuss, like a character in a dress or a picture of the grass in the park. Flashcards are also really great for phonics. This could be a flashcard with a picture on, or even one with the focus sound on. I often use a whiteboard in this taster lesson, so I can model the focus sound and then add my own sound button, and I can press it each time I use that sound. I find this can really help the Brady to understand the difference between the written form, the grapheme, and the sound it makes, the phoneme. The phonics tasters come with 2 songs that are preloaded into the classroom. One song will focus on the letter S, as it's the first lesson that you will deliver. You could also then repeat this song during the lesson if the Brady's finding it a little bit difficult or maybe finding it hard to concentrate. You'll only need to play the second song, which focuses on the grapheme A, if the Brady completes the lesson on the sound S. When listening to these songs, I think it's really important to use this as another opportunity to engage with the content and reinforce the vocabulary. So this is where you can use the standardised actions when you hear the words, the focus sound, or use props like toys or flashcards to help them ready. So here are my top tips that I've put together from my experience so far of using the tasters. And if you've got something you'd like to add, please feel free to share them. It's great to have everyone's input. Firstly, have fun. Phonics is so fun, and just get into it and get involved. Get your props ready and don't be afraid to use different voices. And don't overthink your pronunciation. Number 2, use your planning time wisely. Familiarise yourself with the lesson content. Look at the standardised actions and learn them. And make sure that you know the elements that I've discussed about the lesson structure and expectations from Phonics tasters. 3, actions. Not only are standardised actions really important here for the vocabulary, but also your use of TPR. Look like you're enjoying it, but also use actions to reinforce what you're asking, especially at times when you're asking, what is an object? Use actions for questions, but remember, be consistent in the actions that you use. 4, I think it's really important to practice the segmenting and blending slowly first. Then repeat that much quicker when looking at words to really help the Brady hear how the sounds come together. I see some great ways of modelling this. So some buddies have been using their arms to show the segmenting of a sound. B-each, b-each. And some use a whiteboard where they write the word and they can show as they go. B-each. But each. Depends what you prefer. Number 5, finally, look at the good examples that Sarah posted in the buddy announcement group. They are fab. So a big shout out to those people. We are a team, so magpie ideas and adapt them and make them your own. I really hope that all this has helped. You can find any information about the Phonics tasters in the Phonics PowerPoint, and all the resources you will need can be found online in the resources tab, as I've shown. Contact a member of the team if you need any more information. Happy taster teaching, guys! Bye!